with the most, carry it all, and I got you with another new episode with another new special guest. Yo, this kid got talent, got something unique about him. If you guys haven't seen him or heard about him, y'all need to get up out of that rock that you're living at, out of that crib, and yo, he is one of the faces of downtown Orlando. This kid has been saying trend, has been doing motion, has been doing so many things for the city of Orlando, bruh. And if y'all don't know who I'm talking about the one, the only, the Drewski. Yes, sir, ski. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
yo, yo,
yeah.
yo, yo.
Oh, Drew. So how you feeling today, my boy?
Feeling great. Been a long day. But I'm feeling great. Just got back from getting a cut. It's about to be the new year.
Yes, sir,
Exciting.
ski. Yes, sir,
So
ski.
a lot of big things for 2024. I think it'll probably be my biggest year in life in general. I want to say I got a lot of things that I think I'm putting a stamp on, and I think it's just gonna go. It's gonna go flow well. It's a lot of creating for the first time and starting up and kind of get it the ball rolling, and it's just kind of new territory because I've been doing different things for so long, just putting it all together.
Facts.
This year is going to be something for the books for sure.
For real, for sure, for sure. Yo, since we're talking about this year ending and we're jumping into a whole new year, bruh. So what goals for 2023 that you got to accomplish and that you haven't got to accomplish that you plan on bringing to 2024?
So off the bat, we gotta get in the gym more often.
Facts.
Off the
Facts.
bat, we
You gotta be more healthy.
We gotta just be more healthy in general. I'd say the gym is the biggest part. Everything else in my life, I think I'm keeping it pretty healthy. But actually getting active and going out to the gym more often and just getting out there, whether it is biking or running or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I could curse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I try to keep it to a minimum.
Nah, I feel you. Nah, this is your show, bro. You talk
But
how you
yeah,
talk.
Basically, the gym is definitely first and foremost. But more personal goals, I definitely had goals in the beginning of the year that I thought were the goals that I wanted to accomplish. And as the year started, going, a lot of things started changing. A lot of new experiences, a lot of new just people I've met, traveling, things like that have inspired me to do other things that kind of changed the trajectory of my goals.
Okay.
So,
What exactly do you mean?
so for example, in the beginning of the year, one of my goals was, all right, how do I make a name for myself? How do I brand myself? How do I, get people away from thinking, oh, you own Drew House when you've just worked with them once, or you know, you just throw parties, or you just do this, and right, you go online, you could look up Druzy Entertainment. That's my LLC, right? But there's not like anything really behind it. It's more just an LLC for my personal stuff, like what I personally do. But there's no brand, right? My name's not a brand yet, I would say. Druzy's not a brand, and I think my biggest issue, the hardest thing about the goal that I wanted was trying to make a name for Druzy, rather than just making a name. Period. Focusing so much on like how do I brand myself.
Facts.
And I think it took me till halfway through the year to realize what I actually wanted out of life and what I'm actually like trying to attain and what I'm actually good at and things of that nature. So that was it's kind of hard to answer that one, but by the time halfway through the year hit, we threw that beach party.
Oh yeah.
It was insane. It was in April. We threw an insane beach party. I could get into that later.
Yeah.
But that party really, had so much motion. It was 300, 400 people. We had legendary people playing that are playing at Club Space. They're playing all around the world in Ibiza, things like that. And they were playing here, right? We did it 45 minutes from Orlando. It wasn't even in Orlando. So we're getting 400 or 500 people to go all the way, across the city or across the state just to link up. And obviously people love it. They want to go back. They want to do this. They want to do that. The Drew one is the next one. This and that. I don't think people know what the beach party, like the Coachella thing was like a joke. You know, the way that whole beach party started was, it was just Isaac on the mic.
For real?
Yeah, Bab. Shout out my boy Bab. He was on the mic and he was just like, Coachella, are you ready? You know, like how Calvin Harris and like those DJs, they'd be like, Orlando.
Yeah.
And it was just a joke. And somebody was like, yo, you should run that back. It was because we just went to the beach and my boy Matt was DJing. And it was just like, oh, shit.
So it was more for like fun type shit.
We just went there for fun. Like there was like, we were just going to the beach on a summer day.
Word.
And then I was like, yo, we should run this back like for real. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the Air Force got us. We're good.
What?
So we did it again. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know the story, but Coachella hit me up.
What?
And yeah, and they sent me a cease and desist. They're like, yo, we don't fuck with this at all.
What?
And I got on the phone with them. I got on the phone with the CEO of the Eventbrite.
Yeah.
And basically Eventbrite hit me up. They're like, yo, so on and so forth. But this event was free. It was never a paid event. It was just tickets to be able to keep count and be able to communicate with the people who are going.
Yeah, facts.
Anyways, once that happened, I realized, like, all right, what am I going to name this? Like, what's this going to be? Like, what is this? That's when I started realizing, like, yo, I don't really care for Druzy to be such a brand. Kind of like these people who make TikToks and these people who do this and they brand their name. Yeah. And now you're known as, you know, Bab, or you're known as, you know, whatever other celebrity. And it's just like, you know, their name is their brand. I realized that's not what I like. That's not me. It's not what I want. Like, as cool as that is, it's not what I want. So then at that point, I've realized, like, I want to build something that's bigger than me, obviously. I don't really care for me. So a lot of the things I have going on is going to be centered around things that other people are going to, like, we're going to work together on doing, you know? It's a lot of things, just like radio shows, podcasts at one point, you know, be able to do different settings, DJ sets in different settings, be able to express and continue the motion of creativity and arts through certain films and broadcasts and things like that. So once I realized that, I was like, all right, there's different goals set in place now for 2023. What do you really want to do? And basically, since April till I want to say about like a month or two ago, I've been working on building a brand the whole time. And my goal for 2023 at that point, mid-year, my goals were really, what is the basis of this brand? What do you want to accomplish? Everything behind the brand. And my main goal was to be able to get everything created before the end of the year, which has not happened. Which has not happened yet. Yeah. But I do plan within the next month or two to be able to release certain things to get that word out there and really have it prominent. Like, you know, really have it to where it's like, damn, there's a name behind this. Facts. There's a community behind this. There's something, like, that something is not there. It's like I wanted that something to be Druzy, and I realized it's like, the fuck's gonna be centered around me? Like, it's not. Yeah. It's just not. And then inside me, like, who I am, that's not who I am. I naturally just help people, especially if they're, you know, in a certain field or whatever. That's just how I am, especially if it makes sense, you know? Facts. Like, there's no, like, if I'm not going out my way, if I don't have to go out my way or do anything to help somebody, why not? Type of thing. So that's when I realized my goals were a little different. Yeah. And that was the main goal. So that's kind of one of the goals I'm bringing over into 2024 and kind of getting my brand started and getting that first part rolling. And I kind of have already know what's going to be part of that first brand, but that first launch type of thing, I already have that pretty planned. But that was basically the biggest goal of 2023 for me.
Man, I really like that. Like, to me, it sounds like what you're trying to do is, like, leave a legacy. You know, you're trying to leave a legacy more than just like me or this, like, because you said you want it to be bigger than you. So in a way, it's coming off as like you want to leave a legacy for other people,
100%.
and see like, dang, like when they see
Yeah.
this, they know you did
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I don't mean to, I don't want to be like I don't want to compare myself to certain CEOs or anything like that. But you don't know half the CEOs for half these brands.
Mm-hmm.
People consume, like, ain't nobody know who owns Don Julio or who owns Rode, or
Facts.
nobody knows who owns any of this stuff, but they up there, they own it. And they're giving opportunities to certain people to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't care to be known, like CEO, whatever the case may be. Yeah. That's cool. It's more of like building that, having that,
foundation.
Yeah, like you ever look at like places people work at, like Spotify?
Yeah.
That must be dope.
Yeah.
I don't work for Spotify, but imagine your 9 to 5 with Spotify.
Bro, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
That's like, oh shit, I'm clocking in the spot. Like I work at Spotify. Like I get to make playlists with you. Like certain shit like that. Like I want to end up being something of that magnitude where it's like, I don't have to employ 32,000 people to be like, oh, you're big balling now, you're a big company.
I see it.
You only got, you could have 500 people working for you and you could be something huge,
Nice.
And on top of that, it's what the 500 are doing, or whoever it is. It's like, if you have like Complex, you have radio shows and podcasts and different shows on Complex. That's so dope to me. Like being able to tune into one network and see different things. But then on top of that, these people get to do what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to listen to radio shows. I don't want to do a radio show. I would love to be a part of a radio show and like have some insight and some, I would love to have a radio studio.
Facts.
I don't think I'm the person to be on the radio. I don't think I'm the person, to be that personality. So it's just little things like that. Like I want to be able to create those opportunities for people and put it within the same branch of like all that art.
Yeah. No, that's amazing because, I'm glad that you kind of like somewhat elaborated into like what you really are looking for and who Drew kind of is. Because in a way, it kind of describes like when you talk about like the thing, your goal, your mission, your business or whatever it is, like it kind of describes the kind of person you are. You feel me? Like you're trying to open up avenues. You're trying to open up routes for other people. Like, like you want to do this for so many people to help out all these people. And like, it goes back to what you said, how you just said that you wanted to like, that you're the type of person to help.
Yeah. People. It's genuine. It's genuine. A lot of times when I do things, it's extremely genuine. That's a big thing that I want to focus on too, like a part of my brand and stuff. Is it just being genuine and things just being out the heart,
Facts.
There's a lot of things within the brand that I could elaborate on, but a lot of it does focus and center. Part of it definitely centers around it keeping like keeping it being genuine and like.
So what is one of the things that you said that you wanted to? My fault to cut you off.
Good. For example, like one of my launch parties, I want to have a intimate event in a sense, and there's only 50 people allowed. And I definitely know more than 50 people. More than 50 people are gonna want to come.
Of course.
It's tough. It's tough, right? And how do you sit here and pick 50 out of 200 people that probably want to go? How do you pick 50? Now it's like you're choosing and picking favorites. Like, what is it? Like, how would you do it? At that point, I would want the DJ who's DJing that intimate setting to invite the people he genuinely wants there, and I want. This setting, I don't want to elaborate too much and give it away.
Nah, yeah, you're good. You're good.
This setting, I would want them to be, for them to be, for it to be their setting, kind of like you are with me right now. Like, I want it to be their setting. Whether we was in my living room or yours, you'd probably want it to feel like it's my living room. Feel me? So that's the same way I feel. I want it to be genuine. Again, it coming back to like I don't want it to be Chris is DJing this event. Now a bunch of people who listen to Chris just want to be there because Chris is there. And it's cool and it's a vibe, and they genuinely probably want to be there.
But it's like,
is the vibe genuine? It's like you kind of want to be there because there's a face to this person, and he has a certain status, and you like certain songs that he, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then at that point, you kind of lose it being genuine.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You
I
know,
like
so
that.
that's some of the things. Obviously, I'm still gonna have big events where it's like everybody, you know, come, blah blah, and that's also genuine too, and the vibes are genuine too. But little things like that, I would want to keep keep it to where it's like it keeps that like realness.
Yeah,
instilled
intimate,
in it.
like
Yeah,
close people.
like
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like, you know, it's not picking and choosing. It would be different if, you know, Carlos was DJing.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a whole different set of people that's coming, and that's really like, you know, like just trying to keep it more genuine.
I like that. I like that. That's honestly really different. You know, like you don't really hear stuff like that when people want to throw a certain event or certain party. People just want people there just to
Yeah.
be there. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly.
And so like what you're doing, like I really like that because you want like people that like, all right, like this is someone who I know personally and likes me because of me,
Yeah.
not because of the status, not because of the fame,
Exactly.
not because of this, that, the
And
third.
there's nothing wrong with liking people because of that, but for this certain event, for this certain setting and intimate, it being like 50 people, limited, right?
Yeah, facts.
It's like, you know, it's hard to get those people in
Yeah.
that, you know, would just want to be there because, oh, I listen to Chris or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, nah, that's like I think the first thing I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be all recorded. No phones for an hour.
No, for
Yeah.
you know that's gonna be tough for people, you know.
Yeah.
So you
I
gotta
want
lock that shit
again,
up.
I want it to be genuine. Like
I feel
if-
you, like
if
old
you're
school back in the
you're
day.
gonna be
type
on
shit.
camera and you got no phone. You're just gonna be standing there. Oh well, like you know,
Yeah.
you know. Now you really gotta be like yourself and just
Facts, I like
you know
that.
what I mean? Like
That's
it
true.
forces people to sit here and show their personality. You know,
That's dope.
it just forces them to sit. You know, either you're just gonna be there like hands in your pockets,
Like, yeah, awkward, weird.
or you're gonna be vibing and just being you. And whether that's talking to your friend in the corner and you're just sipping your drink and you're vibing, people watching, or if you're boogieing down,
Yeah.
or if you're like
Type shit.
behind the DJ, like snap it, bro.
So it shows everybody's personality, who
Exactly.
everybody. I like
exactly,
that.
and it's okay. Like I don't need like people. I don't need this shit to be
Like
crazy
crazy
jumping. I just need it to be what it is.
genuine, which is genuine.
That's literally all I want it to
That's,
be.
that's dope, though. That's dope, man. That's different, you know. Like people don't think about stuff like that, and so the fact that like you want to tap into that and you want to like create things like that, that's really like that's unique. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't think shit like that, you know, and I really can like I can respect that. You know, I can vibe with that and
Appreciate
and
it.
understand. You know, like
Appreciate it.
that's something different. So, all right. So we kind of talked about your stuff going on, and then the New Year's and the
Yeah.
goals. So you just kind of like earlier you mentioned about the beach party, Coachella.
Yeah.
So is that what kind of like started everything for you, like made motion for everything, or was that like just
It goes back.
or
It goes
even
back
more
to the
back?
days, bro.
Or-
It goes, yeah, and again, I think like one of the biggest topics with me, and like one of the biggest like, I guess you could say themes is just the genuine, just being genuine and real, and it being authentic. You know, I'm obviously people are probably know him, Isaac Bab,
Yeah.
my right hand. You know,
Shout
been my
out to
best friend.
Isaac,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, been my best friend for a long time.
Yeah.
So when we were younger, we were in high school. We used to throw parties because we used to throw parties.
Yeah, I
There was no basis as to why we did it.
Mm.
We definitely loved the fact that we could bring a bunch of people together in the same place. Growing up as a kid, my mom would let a lot of people in my house.
Lucky.
We had a hoop in the backyard,
Word.
so we would hoop in the backyard all the time. They wouldn't be in my crib, but
Yeah, yeah.
we would be hooping.
Yeah, yeah,
There'd be
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of people at my house though. Like it was a place that we could all gather around. So it was just really normal to always have people like around, like friends, whatever. It was always normal for that, right? And once it becomes normal, it almost becomes like family and yada yada, right? So it all started like I want to say when you graduated 2014 from high school.
Yeah.
So you guys threw a prom party in Reunion.
Oh,
Resort,
yeah.
right?
I remember. Yeah, I
and you
remember
guys
that
threw a
shit.
prom party, and it was lit. And for those of y'all that don't know, the school we went to, every senior class, the prom, they had to buy a mansion. And they had to throw like a party, bro. And we had to buy some ridiculous $5,000 mansion that no one could afford. I don't know how niggas got monies for any of this stuff.
Yo,
To this day, I don't know how we got it.
yo.
So, then we went and we started throwing. Isaac went to that party. He came back to me. He's like, "Yo, we need to get this. We need to get one of these mansions, bro. I know the nigga to do it. We could do it." I was like, "When we doing it?" He's like, "In 2 weeks. We could do it in 2 weeks." This was like, I think like the end of May.
Yeah.
And he was trying to do it for like the middle of June.
What the fuck?
And I was like, "Bro, what?" And he's like, "Yo, we just need this much money. It's for this much days." Yo, it was surprisingly pretty cheap.
What?
I don't know how he got this one, but it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And we got it done. We got it done. It was some 3-story house, blah, blah. Long story short, we threw that party, and it was better than your party. 100%. And all of y'all wanted to come to our shit, and it was dumb lit. And we were celebrating the fact that we were just becoming seniors. Like, we're entering our last year of high school. That's what we were celebrating. And it was from there, like, everybody was like, this was one of the best weekends ever. Like, obviously, we were becoming seniors, so there's something to celebrate.
Yeah,
but it's different when you're graduating rather than like going into 12th grade. Like, ooh,
yeah.
People just kept telling us about that. And I'm like, yo, Isaac, we gotta run that back. So we ran it back Halloween. We ran it back again in January.
Yeah. I remember y'all niggas were always trending,
then
bro.
In between, we would throw random house parties at people's places. Then we threw a crazy prom party, right? And while all this is going on as well, I ended up going to like things like EDC and things like that. And my friends would be like, yo, what the fuck is that? Blah, blah. I was like, I just got to come. And then it was like, oh, like, like Drew been to this shit. We got to go with him. And then it was just like a trend, like, oh, y'all want to go with me to EDC, blah, blah. So it's like a massive, like you said, starting a trend or whatever the case may be. Not saying I did.
Nah,
but
you did.
But a lot of people wanted to go wherever, it was at. And then we would throw the parties and we would have the most people there and yada, yada, yada. And again, like that was just out of us wanting to do it. There was times where me and Isaac would collect all the money for a mansion and map out where everyone's going to sleep. Because obviously you throw money,
you stay.
You're entitled to a certain spot. Me and Isaac throwing the most money at everyone wouldn't even put us down on a bed. Like, we put us like on a sofa or whatever. Like, we were like, yo, we'll figure it out as long as it gets done.
Yeah, fine.
So it's like little things like that. Like, we genuinely wanted it to happen. And then I didn't realize this till later on in life, but all of that was just canvases that we kind of were painting. In a sense, it's like, yo, how we throwing this shit? There was no money being made. There was no, like, what's the point of this? And it's just like, it feels great to have like all these people here and to an event that you made and so on and so forth. So from there, when we graduated high school, we just kept doing it. We kept throwing parties and shit, and everybody knew us for throwing events and yada yada. And we ended up going DT, and same thing. And someone offered us like, yo, I want to talk to y'all about possibly doing shit DT. And the biggest thing,
for those that don't know, DT stands for downtown.
Yeah, downtown. So the biggest thing, again, with us is like, yo, we don't really like doing that club shit like that because we do other stuff. Love downtown and everything, but I'm a big bruncher, going to restaurants, doing a lot of daytime activities while you drink too is cool. And shit like that. Like just going out the norm, not going DT all the time. Yeah. And a lot of people, again, they don't see that side. They obviously, a lot of people are gonna choose to see the whole club side or
that's true.
Whatever's more popping on the internet.
True. That's true.
And obviously, people are probably not gonna engage with content when I'm out here taking walks in Winter Park. Yeah, but people want to go to Winter Park. People want to, eat at these places you eat at and blah blah and certain people, but that comes down the line, right?
Yeah.
But this is something we've been doing. So then they offered us like, oh, we have a brunch party. I was like, yo, now we're talking, because that's more of my speed.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a club posted up on the couch with the same girls from last week.
Yeah, facts.
With some new niggas that was here 2 weeks ago.
Facts.
With a bottle. Feel me?
Yeah, shit.
And some parties were cool. Some parties get boogie down.
Yeah.
You know, tra, you know, whatever. Those parties be lit, but most of the times it's, hold up, wait a minute. I thought I was finished. I ain't trying to do all that all the time.
Yeah, I feel that
Feel me?
shit.
So we
So how did that happen though? Like how did that brunch like opportunity ended up happening for you?
so
though,
we
exactly.
we ended up doing brunch with some people, and there was a certain deal, blah blah. But we basically would wake up every day before any of this happened. We would wake up every Sunday. Talking about like 2 years straight, probably.
Damn.
And like one of these years, I used to live with Isaac.
Or,
So for like 2 years straight,
yeah.
on a Sunday, I wake up, FaceTime Isaac, like, yo, where we brunching? And we would look for a spot to brunch, reserve 6 to 8 seats without even knowing who's going.
Word.
And just hit up people like, yo, you trying to brunch?
Okay.
And we would go and have a brunch, 4, 6, 8. One thing's for sure though, me and Isaac was brunching on Sunday.
Brunch, facts.
And I still have a list on my phone.
Yeah.
It's literally just place after spot, spot after spot, place after place. Yeah. And I would go to places that were shitty. Like, music would be crazy though. Feel me? Like, have some Kanye in the morning, or like, what, it's like 12, 1, you're watching football. Food is trash, but like, it's doing the work.
Facts.
Especially when you're drinking mimosas or whatever.
Of course.
And the music is thumping.
Word.
But then you go over to Grand Beau, which is like one of these more fancy restaurants, and you have unlimited crab legs, unlimited shrimp, the best food in the world, and then the motherfucker's on the piano.
So it kind of ruins the vibes.
Yeah, and there's no medium. There was no medium, bro. I'm telling you, there's no medium in Orlando. There's no place you could go and listen to Flashing Lights by Kanye and eat good chicken and waffles, or eat some shit, you know? Some actual shit. Not no, chicken biscuits with a little bit of honey on top. Like, damn.
Yeah,
I would have went to Chick-fil-A for that.
You
feel me?
I feel you. Like good ass food, good ass
food,
music.
good ass music. Like,
I see, that's dope.
So that's something that we were like, yo, if we could create this, then like we're gonna change the game, because in Orlando at least, because motherfuckers got bad food, good music, bad food, or good food, bad music. So it was like one of the other. Ain't nobody gonna listen to a grand piano. I don't give a fuck.
That's
what you're talking about. Like, I don't
ain't
know.
Nobody trying to.
And they're not even trying to do covers like
Yo, facts.
Umbrella by Rihanna maybe. So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, so that you can vibe to.
You hear that? Nah.
Facts.
It's just Beethoven. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So they presented us this opportunity. We took it. We started doing it at a club. Yeah, we started doing it at Chikai. We had they had their DJs DJing, and they had their food menu already.
Facts.
We were just providing the people. First complaint off rip was the food was bad. So we off rip, yo, we need to make sure there's better food. Like, what could we do? So we brought in my boy Flex Eats. Shout out my boy Flex Eats. Check him out if you haven't. But he came in, he started making good food.
Oh.
But then it was just like, all right, now they're not making money apparently, because the food is just too good, and they're not charging. It's a lot of logistics with this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
On top of that, these people don't own Chick. Like, it's a lot different when it's like you're being middleman by a middleman already. It's like you still got to ask permission for me to do things. It's just like, we need somebody in charge for real.
Facts.
Here as well.
Facts.
That we could talk to. And a lot of that didn't happen that way. Things fell out. Not to say anything negative about them or anything, but they did cut us off
Sometimes.
So
yeah,
then
continue.
So then from there we kind of just were playing it by ear, and we were still doing events, certain events at night here and there, doing, working with certain people, but it isn't the same because I don't have that passion that I do to make a brunch happen and have people here and sell tables and make sure like it's one thing to be like, yo, come pop bottles at this club and spend money for these bottles that are overpriced. It's another thing to be like, yo, come catch a vibe and eat, and
Nice.
it's completely different.
I like that.
So we got this opportunity, right? My boy Pranks DC. He's probably one of the biggest people to just help me in general. Yeah, just guidance, everything. Look at him like a big brother. He gave us this opportunity where he wasn't even making any type of bread like that. He was really doing it for just me and Isaac.
Damn, that's love.
And shout out my boy Mike D. He's the one who owns Thrive, Bounce House. He used to own Saddle Up, Guilt, things like that. So we got the opportunity to do a brunch at Thrive, which if you've been to Thrive, their food's pretty good.
It's
Chef
fire.
Ryan
It's
is
fire.
a real chef. They got real things going on. Again, Mike D owns these places. We know Mike D.
Yeah.
He's in these meetings too. We're building this shit together.
Oh, word.
It's a lot more capital too. So now we could do certain things that we weren't doing before. We could provide quality now. And then we get to get Sammy too every time. It changes up the vibe.
Yeah, shout out to him.
So then from there, it was like perfecting that brunch. And there was, there's mishaps, like Prank ended up not being able to DJ anymore with us, and Sammy had to do full time. And me and Isaac really like try to elevate the party as much as possible. And now the brunch kind of does its thing itself, and it's like a blessing because we, 2 years ago, I want to say 2 years ago, we started this, and there was no like real intention of like having it going for 2 years. We felt like this shit was week by week. Like, yo, this week don't go good. We might not be doing it next week.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like. And really, it's just perfecting things, price points, the food sometimes, wasn't as good as it should be.
Yeah.
Now it's like, they got it. We got it. Yeah, it's on
different.
lock.
It's
Yeah,
different.
It's on lock
Everything's
now.
5-star.
Yeah. So Chef Ryan had stepped in too. Like he wasn't there when we first started it. Little things.
Yeah.
So obviously trial and error. Some weeks, it's difficult. Sunday land on a holiday weekend. Sunday lands on like the first of the month.
Yeah.
Everybody broke on the first of the month. So things like that. It's like a lot of trials and tribulations, but once that opportunity came, we kind of seized the moment.
Yeah.
Once we were provided with everything we needed to
Facts.
be able to throw a correct bunch the way we wanted to.
So then I have a question, because you were talking about like, there was times where you felt like, yeah, it was difficult and stuff. Where those moments, did you guys truly feel like giving up? And if you guys did, like, what kept y'all pushing? What made y'all like still be like, like I still believe in it and I still want to keep going? Like, what gave you that drive, basically?
So
If there
I would
was
say
times.
there's certain things where it was like, yo, this shit is probably not going good or so and so, but like we didn't care because we weren't passionate about it. Like the club shit, again, I think it's changed a little right now, but we just don't want to promote a club that with no substance and we're just on couches again.
Yeah, facts.
Clubs that are not like that, I just want to mention like Robinson, Taco Cat, McQueen's. Those clubs have a little more to it than just, hey, we're on a couch. There's aesthetic to it. There's a whole brand behind it. I'm not going to name other clubs, but certain clubs that you just go in there and you're just there.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah.
It's cool, but like, how am I supposed to sit here and you want me to bring people in to a warehouse full of couches every week? At 5:30 on a Sunday is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's
Facts,
hard.
yeah,
So it's like
facts.
it's like, if this is gonna end, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh well. But like when it comes to things like brunch and things like that, it's like every week you kind of just be like, yo, you kind of forget about last week because this week's here, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we weren't really too focused on what happened last week because that shit's already said and done.
I like that.
You know, and not saying I take this approach with everything I do.
Yeah.
Probably should. But with this specifically, it was like that, and a lot of like, you know, kind of bringing a partner to the gym. It's like, yo, 40, and you're like, shit, 40.
Yeah,
like you kind of
like
want to
it-
stop. I want to stop, but we not stopping. Yeah,
Keep pushing each other.
things like that. So me and Isaac definitely pushed each other. Sammy as well, and as well, like just being able to you know keep that financial ball rolling.
Yeah.
Along with what we're doing rolling in that aspect, and you know, you might have 2 weeks that are bad, but once that 1 week hits, it reminds you like, yo, this is why we do this. Look at this brunch, look at these people happy, like
I like that.
you know, 23rd, 25th birthday, whatever the case may be, and
Facts.
she's having the best time of her life, and
Facts.
you know, you gave somebody a Bel Air bottle that you don't, you know, Bel Air champagne that you don't know, and it's their birthday, and now their whole day is made, and it's a memory. You know,
That's dope.
that's why, like, that's really why we do it, and then we see that shit, and that's really what keeps us going.
All right. That's what's up.
Just in general, when people tell me that,
I like
that's
that.
what keeps me going.
And so then my next question kind of is like, for those younger than us, you know, or maybe even older than us that are kind of like in that field that you're in, basically, what kind of like advice that you got for them? Like, what do you suggest to them?
I'd say if you're in a field where you're looking to, because it's so difficult to place the field I'm in.
What would you even title what you do?
Yeah, a curator.
Curator. And for those that
An
don't
event
know,
curator.
what is an event curator?
I don't want to say it's a promoter
Yeah.
because that's what people are going to label it.
Yeah.
I feel like a promoter, what they do is obviously just promote an event.
Yeah.
We curate. I feel like we curate vibes in a sense, right? We create a certain type of vibe. We're not just inviting someone to the club. You know, sometimes it's, yo, we're gonna do this, this, and that. Stop here, do this, and then end up at the club.
Yeah.
You know, or then do this, and the club we're going to is not gonna be average, or it's not gonna be something extremely basic. It's gonna have something to it, right? So, what I would say to those people who kind of want to pursue something similar is just make sure you really like the shit you're doing and understand what you're doing and like the part of it. If your goal is to end up throwing a certain, you know, end up being able to book certain artists to do a show for you and all that, just know you're gonna have to have a team, and just know you're gonna have to work with a bunch of different people.
Facts.
So obviously you're gonna have to work your way up, and you're gonna have to be a promoter, or you're gonna have to do this and you're gonna do that. But I just find it hard for someone to do all that stuff as like I don't know, it just feels hard to think about someone being like, yo, I want to be a promoter or so and so, because it's like, I don't think you really do. I think you want to live this life and it looks cool, but like,
Yeah.
are you really just this genuinely like attract you? Like a lot of people who rap nowadays, it's like they're kind of just rapping because they see it. They're like, yo, well, I could do that too.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you damn sure you probably could do it. But is it genuine? Is it coming out the soul? Is this some shit you really like? I love rap. I'm never gonna be a rapper. I might get on a rap song or something, but I'm never gonna sit here and start making, you know,
Like music.
because like I'm not gonna sit here and stand in front of a computer. Like that's just not my passion. Like I would probably be like, I'm tired of fucking recording all day and mixing and doing this and writing. You know, it's just not my calling. So what I would say, the advice to people who do want to be in a certain field like this, music entertainment, music industry, just event entertainment, the event industry, entertainment industry, if they really want to be in it, find what you really want to do and kind of just do it. And if you really do like that shit, you'll put yourself surrounded by the people who do. I always said like a lot of my friends that I grew up with, we do different things. My boy Mikey owns a mechanic shop. What the fuck I look like chilling with Mikey every day? What does Mikey look like chilling with me every day? We're gonna get nowhere. You feel me? I don't care. I don't care about cars like that. He don't care about throwing parties and doing events and all the shit like that. So for me, it's just like any other job, any white collar. Is it white collar or blue collar? Whatever. It's blue collar, right?
Blue collar is like the more like the labor
For
work.
anybody like with a blue collar job and so on and so forth, it's like you go in there and you connect with certain people and you meet certain people. The HR people chill with the HR people because they're trying to go up and da-da-da-da, and they'll meet the seniority of HR. They don't need to meet the seniority of finance. They're not doing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, cool. Yeah, I know Tom from finance, but what the fuck do I look like chilling with Tom all the time, trying to see what Tom does, trying to get connected with Tom all the damn time when I'm not going to grow from being around Tom.
I see what you mean.
You know, so it's like you want to definitely place yourself around those people too.
People are similar. They
Yeah,
have the same.
and being genuine about it too. Again,
Facts.
it's just hard to tell, what they would do because to me it was something that just came to me and it's natural and it's just like this is just how I'm living. For example, like my boy, like I said, my boy Pranks DC. That's someone who I was, constantly being surrounded by that really made a big impact in my life personally, and just things like that. Like my boy Poe, Rowie, he's the owner of Flavor and Hub C. Just little things like that. Like as you could tell, just like, like Chris, right? Him knowing certain people. Feel me?
Yeah.
Just and it's just again natural. It's not like he, went out his way to meet these people, this and that. But then it's like again, and then surrounding yourself more around that. Right? Again, like Chris chilling with me all the time. Probably wouldn't do him any good,
Yeah.
So it's totally dependent on that, and I think like the biggest thing is just surrounding yourself and who you know, and if you're a genuine soul, you're gonna get there. You feel me? Do what you want to do what you love. At one point, it's gonna come around for you, but I feel like chasing that is difficult. It's difficult. Actually. The biggest advice I'd give him, the biggest thing is just make sure that this is some shit you really do want to do from like the soul. Like this is something you enjoy. You look at it like a fucking art. I stood there and I look at my beach party and I'm like, yes. Like this is like I did this and this is nice and this is how like I mean it could have been this way and but shit, look at this and then the responses you get after is just that validation and even more motivation to keep doing certain things. So I definitely do get discouraged and certain things happen just like everyone else. But like me really just loving it and being genuine about it, that is really what keeps me, doing it. And I think that's the biggest thing about it. Yeah. A lot of people get lost in the art and trying to be something and this and that it you just end up becoming
something out there.
You just becoming another person that's just out here in DT, just throwing in another party. Mundane. You're just another part. You're just part of the rotation. Yeah. You feel me?
Like another number in the business sense. You just became like, another number of the same
like if
person.
that's what you want to be, more than welcome. If you want side money forever, like cool. But like if this is something that you really want to elevate and make it bigger. Stand out. You got to stand out, but you also got to know certain people and you got to do certain things. And like, again, being genuine, like a bunch of these people I've met, a bunch of things I've done is just from it being genuine and longevity of it. So
you might as well have just a t-shirt and put genuine on it, bro. Because the amount of times you said that, and I like that and I respect that a lot. And kind of going, kind of real backtrack to certain people that you made. You said Prank Steezy, and all that. And these guys were these guys kind of like your inspiration, or not really?
I wouldn't say full inspiration.
Who is your inspiration then? Who's
but they definitely influenced us to become, they definitely influenced part of the lifestyle. They definitely showed us certain things that are possible.
Yeah.
They showed us like, hey, yo, you could be cool with certain celebrities. Like that's like it's extremely normal to be on like a phone call, text message basis with a lot of people who do have 1 million followers or do have singles with Drake or whatever the case may be. Like, yeah, like that's normal, and exposing us to like a certain world to where it's like, yo, you're sitting next to like so and so, like the owner is Zaxby's. You're like, yo, holy shit. But you don't know because you're just there, just vibing, right? So it's just being exposed to that, and I think like little things like that. I think they exposed us more to that. But inspiration, like to me, there's a few people. I feel like this is gonna come off corny as fuck.
Fuck it, bro. This is
But
you.
definitely Drake.
Okay.
And it's just like inspiration in the sense of like what he's done for the people around him.
Yeah.
If you look at Drake and you see the shit he's done for the people around him, you'll realize like he has the same people from day one. Like half the people he's out here with all the time, the real regular people don't see. And I think that's something huge. No one ever sees me chilling with my boy Devin. I chill with this nigga damn near every 2 weeks at least. You know Devin. Like nobody's gonna see Devin, but just know I'm chilling. We're still locked in. You know, it don't got to be posted out there. So that's something that like I always took from Drake and inspired me. Like, yo, keep those keep those day ones and those people who've been with you from the jump. Keep them close and like always remember like this is how you got here. Got someone. My second inspo I'd say is ASAP Rocky. Just the way he carries himself. He inspired me to paint my nails. He inspired me to wear side bags. Like
you were one of the first people that started that trend down here. What is it called? Like Teflon?
Yeah, Teflon. I wear purses now, but before I used to just wear side bags. Before Supreme started, they dropped little Supreme.
Yeah.
Those little bags everyone had.
Yeah.
Before that, I used to have Supreme bags and Palace bags and shit.
You really were like and Isaac were one of the like
starters. And I got it because it's convenient. Once you get one, you realize how convenient that shit is.
Yeah, facts.
But ASAP's definitely an inspo, and just just the way bro carries himself for certain things, especially like I carry myself the same way when it comes to like women and shit and blah blah. It's like doing my nails and blah blah, just things like that, and the little things, and just knowing like, yo, I'm me either way type of thing. So
I like that.
So that's where that comes from. And I'd say like the last two inspos would probably be Odell Beckham, and that's one of my biggest inspos because I feel like week after week, growing up watching him, week after week, it's like you sometimes could be that student with the 3.8 GPA, but you in the fucking detention all the damn time.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But like that don't change the 3.8, and that don't change the work you're putting in, and that doesn't mean that you can't get better, but it also doesn't mean you're like a shitty person, And that kind of it's always taught me like that balance between like, yo, you could do really good and still be a shitty person.
Yeah.
You could do really bad and still be a good person. So like, you just got to remember like, there's days that you're going to be all of that. Like, there's days you're just going to be a shit person somehow, and you did something and it might not be your fault. You might have made a mistake, whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean you're bad, you're a bad person or whatever the fuck. And vice versa. So that's just something I've taken from OBJ, and that's like probably the main thing. And just him being able to come back from adversity and injuries and things like that, and just keep his head on the swivel. What everyone's saying, you're the topic of discussion, no matter if you're the fucking 13th best player in the league or the first. Like, you still the topic of discussion. They don't want to talk about, the first player, the best player in the world. They want to talk about you.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and it's still like you advance. And then the last inspo I'd say is, I know this is so random, but Wiz Khalifa, and I know a lot of people are wondering like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm personally asking, why is that?
He was the first person ever to smoke weed on YouTube and shit like that.
What?
So he took a big leap in being the only motherfucker to do something everybody does now, and it's okay to do, but he's part of the reason why we can. And it's like people don't really realize that, and it goes over their head. But it's just the inspiration of him being able to do what the fuck he wanted to,
Facts.
whenever he wanted to.
Facts.
He did it his way and shit like that. That's what I take from it, and to me, it inspires me so much because that is one of my favorite rappers, like top 3. I listen to him a lot.
Yeah.
If you listen to what he says, he's inspiring too. You know, he's a go-getter. Like he be working hard.
Yeah.
He be doing MMA now. If you ain't know, like
Yeah,
he
yeah, I
is
see that,
insane.
yeah.
So, and again, the same thing with him and Drake. They have the same people
Always.
from 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Same exact people,
That's right.
and they never changed.
That's
And
right.
that was like, again, one of the biggest things. I was just like, yo, ASAP too. That's like one of the biggest things of the family, you know, real, genuine,
People.
kept it to themselves. Again, with the Wiz thing, like being the first person to do all that and taking the leap. And sometimes you got to be that person to say the shit that other people don't want,
For sure.
or kind of be like the villain.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be, or it's like, yo, shit, I kind of wanted to say that, but damn, you said it. It's like, damn, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have said that, but I agree. But I don't know if I would have said that, and they kind of just like agree with you, but don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to sit there and be like, well, fuck it, I'll just take all the shots for everyone. And then 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We stand with Drew now. It's like, shit, finally.
Now y'all want to be.
Yeah.
Facts,
So
facts.
that's definitely my 5 inspos that
Yeah.
like off the top. Like I listen to them every day.
Yeah.
I try to watch OBJ every time he plays.
Facts.
Type of thing. So yeah.
I like that, bro. I like that a lot. Well, listen, man, I would love to keep asking you more questions and keep digging your brain, but you know, I know you got stuff coming up and all that. You're a busy guy, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, where can people find you at? Let them know.
So,
where can they find you?
X Druzy on Instagram. On Twitter, it's DruzyXO. My Twitter is goated, by the way. Just letting y'all know it's
Type
goated.
shit.
My brand is gonna come out in 2 months, I'd say. It's called Seam, CEAM. It stands for Creating Everything Around Music. So you
Like
can
that.
follow it at Seam TV. And again, the basis of my brand is basically just continuing the motion of creativity through broadcasts and films and events. So that's what I got going on.
Type shit.
Yeah, and that's where you can find my stuff.
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, hey, Drew, it's a pleasure having you. It was a pleasure, getting to
Thank
pick
you,
your
brother.
brain.
Thank you.
And just, letting the people know who Drew is, and giving them a little taste,
Yeah.
just to see. And,
I appreciate you having me, bro.
Nah,
I do appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. But anyways, guys, this was the new A&R. I'm your host with the most, Carry It All, and peace.